Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Okay, so some of you guys asked me to showcase an update to my Ritual Miracle teams, and here are all my Ritual Miracle teams. Okay, so the thing is, I haven't actually touched Andras at all, so it's still the same, but for Kronos, Apep, and Fafnir, there are some changes. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at all of these changes. These could get very pay to win, but it's just an overview of what I'm running right now. Okay, so a couple of changes over here. As you can see, Brewster has the Brawler set. So, and he also has the Ocean set as well for other PvE content, because I don't use presets. Now, the reason why the Brawler set is here is so that we can increase our normal attack damage, which allows us to deal more consistent DPS. And aside from this change, we also have the Harmony set on Ashley. This is very important in my opinion, because everything that moves after Ashley is going to have extra 10% damage, which is essentially my Brewster, my Ollie, and my what was his face? Xiao-In over here. Oh right, and a couple of other changes, right? So Xiao-In and Ollie, they both have the Thunder set, which allows them to deal a lot of extra DPS onto the boss, which is allowing us to one-shot the boss more effectively and thereby reducing the turns taken on average, like by a great amount. Okay, so let's take a look at their stats real quick before I do some blitz. So here are the stats of Brewster, here are the stats of Gaius. Gaius is also on the Thunder set, but frankly speaking, you don't need him to be on a Thunder set. He can be on anything because he's primarily not focused more on like boss DPS. And in fact, I don't even use Gaius in any bossing content at all anymore. So yeah, you can actually run him with anything else. You can even run him with the Harmony set if you so wish to, and so long as he's able to kill the first 2 waves on his own. But there you go. So those are my stats. And we're going to blitz this 10 times. Same for every other Ritual Miracle. Okay, so let's take a look at the win rate here and the turns. So 12 turns, 11 turns, 11 turns. In general, the win rates, they are just vastly improved, greatly improved. Like right now, I think my win rates, they are way above like 95%, way above 95%. And the reason for that is because the Divinate just gives us so much extra DPS output. So I have level 2, I have a tier 2 Divinate on Xiao-In, which is going to give him a lot more attack power. And I have a tier 3 Divinate on Brewster, which is also going to give him a lot of attack power. So that is my Kronos run. I'm just going to show you one run and how it works, so that you guys have a better idea of what's happening over here at least. Okay, so run this on auto. So Gaius is going to clear the first 2 waves on his own. So like I said, as long as you can build him any set at all that's able to achieve this, you should be fine. Okay, rip. That was a rip. Gaius did just a little bit too little DPS. Okay, so in the boss wave, Gaius is also going to attack, but he's not going to deal anything at all. The reason why I have him go first is not just for the waves, but also to give extra crit rate to Xiao-In and Ollie. That's why Xiao-In and Ollie, they both can run very low crit rate, although that is not true for Ollie because I use him in other content. Okay, so Ashley took the hit and she died, and that's why Ollie was able to protect her and deal good DPS to the boss. And now we finish up with Ollie here. Boom, that's it. So that's it for Kronos. It's not the fastest team right now. I mean, if you have a Leora and you have Divinates on her, she's gonna give you a much faster runtime. But for the most part, I don't really care too much about competing in the leaderboards in my opinion, because it's just way too difficult right now. Okay, next we have my Apep team. So of course there are some other changes based on whatever that we have right now, which is like Divinates and all that kind of stuff. So you can see that Stewart, he currently has the Thunder set as well. So I do recommend you to farm a lot of Thunder sets for beating bossing content. And of course we have Ashley with the Harmony here. This is just, it just makes my runs super consistent, super safe, super fast. Okay, so let's take a look at the stats again. We have Brewster, just as before. We also have Ashley, just as before. And you can see that the way that I'm building her is with a little bit of accuracy, average speed. I mean, this is the required speed, by the way, for a turn order. And the attack over here with very little emphasis on crit damage. And then we have Dalen. So Dalen, just as usual. We have Drew. And finally, we have Stewart over here with some added extra power because of a level 10 Divinate. Okay, so let's blitz this 10 times. 9 turns. I think on average this is like, whoa, 15 turns, what the heck. On average, this should be about 9 turns, yeah. Because of how much DPS output we are pushing right now, it makes our runs super consistent. So I think my fastest was 9.1. Like that was like my best run ever. So it was like all 9s and 110, and that's it. And that's also quite easy to achieve because, like I said, this team is super consistent right now. So let's take a look at how this works in practice. So Ashley is going to go first, boost my entire team with the Harmony buff, right? So during the boss fight especially, we are going to have a lot more increased DPS. And here comes the Brewster assist. Okay, that's it. Okay, we start off with the attack buff and Harmony. So very good increase in our DPS output. And we're just going to nuke. And here comes Stewart, which, oh wow, we overkilled the boss. Yeah, so we did way too much damage to the boss. I think back then, I was able to drop the boss to about 50%, and Steward is actually able to drop the boss to about 10%. And when the boss attacked me, Steward will counter-attack and kill the boss. But right now, that's completely unnecessary because we are just dealing way too much damage to the boss right now. And there you go, 27 seconds as well. What the heck? Alright, and next we have Fafnir. And okay, if you guys have watched one of my previous videos, I copied a team comp from someone who was using this exact setup in the leaderboards. But a couple of changes here, right? So I have the light set on Hall. Reason for that is Hall is one of my fastest espers here, so he's gonna be taking one of the earlier turns, and that is needed to push Louis, especially in the second wave, so that he has at least effective 140 speed, so that he's able to outspeed the enemy. So right now he has 126 speed, which means that in the second wave he's actually not supposed to outspeed any of the ads, which means we're going to lose turns over there because ads are going to attack us. But because of the light set here, that's going to push his AP by 10%, which is, like I said, effectively 140 speed. Okay, so let's take a look at all their stats. So we have Yunchuan here with just a very scuffed kit, so very low attack, very low crit damage. The reason for that is because we don't want to overkill the boss and drop his HP bar below 5 stacks at the start, right? And we have Dahlia here with some decent speed because I use her in Counter Sonica, and I also have good accuracy and the Harmony set. The Harmony set is very important in helping the nuking in the boss wave. Then we have Hall over here. Essentially, he just needs 85% crit rate. You don't need 100% on him because he is still going to be able to land crits on the boss and on any of the ads that he needs to deal damage to. And he just needs to be like the second fastest DPS esper here, aside from Dahlia, of course. And then next, we have Mateo. So the way you want to build him is with the Thunder set. Absolutely with the Thunder set. With a lot of attack power, a lot of crit damage. Just give him a lot of DPS output. And because I have him at R2, I don't need any crit rate on him. But the reason why I have some crit rate, some of you guys might be wondering, is because I do run him on Shadow Stream. And in Shadow Stream, we cannot land Spark debuff, which means we cannot guarantee a crit at R2. So because of that, I do need to have a little bit of crit rate, unfortunately. And I still have to back it up with some extra crit rate buffs elsewhere. And finally, we have Louis. You don't need him to be on the Thunder set. I do have him on the Thunder set because I want him to do more damage to Fafnir during the boss wave, but for the most part, you don't need him to be on the Thunder set. He just needs to wipe out the second wave, and that should be okay. Alright, so as always, let's blitz this 10 times, and my win rate now is so safe. This team is so freaking safe. I managed to make it so safe because of the divinates, and just by mini-maxing some of the little things here and there. Okay, so 20 turns, that's pretty fast. 39 turns, this is probably if we didn't land a defense break. 31 turns as well. Okay, so 19 turns. 19 turns is probably... Okay, 18 turns. 17 turns is actually my fastest run, my fastest timing with this setup. But it requires insane RNG. So on average, I have a turn taking of 26, which is, I think, not bad. Let's take a look at like the fastest run here, right? 18 turns. What's actually happening? So yeah, pay attention because there's a lot of requirements for this team to work. We need to not one-shot this wave. Right, Hall kills 2. Mateo uses his third skill here. Boom. So Mateo's third skill is on cooldown, but in this wave, Mateo uses his second skill again. So that in the boss wave, he can use his third skill. Alright, and now we must one-shot with Louis here. So you will notice that Louis wouldn't have taken a turn without the light set. So the light set actually helped us push Louis' AP so that he can steal the turn and take advantage of the extra AP from the light set and kill the ads. Okay, so we have the Harmony here. We have the Seer, we have the defense break, left a little bit of HP, boom! 320k. And that dropped the boss down to his last HP bar. So this is how we can do like super fast runs. And of course, I can definitely minimax a little bit because you notice that the boss had like 9% extra HP on his on his 5th HP bar. So I could have actually probably increased the DPS output on Yunchuan and all that, but I don't really feel like I want to adjust the team for now. But yeah, so this is my Fafnir team and it is very consistent, very safe. So even if we fail to land a defense break, it's still okay. We will still eventually win. So as you can see, we might take a few more turns, right? 36 turns, and I think we had one at like what, 39? Yeah, 39 turns, but eventually we will still claim the win because we already did so much damage to the boss, even without the defense break. Okay, now finally we have my Andras team. Nothing has changed in this setup at all. This is still the same as my previous Andras team. So I would recommend you to just go ahead and check it out because it's going to be exactly the same. But in terms of safety, it is not really the safest team. I mean, like it's not exactly very safe. The win rate is probably like 90 to 95%. So we might actually see a loss over here. but you can see that the turns taking is extremely long. We are using 15 memo trees per run, which is why I might not farm Andras all that much unless I get a Tether. It's still okay. It's worth multi-battling, I would think, if I had a lot of time at least, right? So yeah, there you go. So 10 out of 10, pretty safe. Let's take a look at the stats real quick. In case you're wondering, so we have Tang Xuan here with very low crit rate. This is, I think, is his base crit, and the rest goes into his attack power, just for cleaning up the first couple of waves. That's it. And we have Kara here, just a lot of accuracy, just typical debuffer. Same goes for Hilda as well, but you want her to have 100% accuracy for more defense. Reason for that is so that you would inflict 2 more poison effects on the enemy for 2 turns if the target's defense is below Hilda's, right? So you do need 100% accuracy so that you can increase your base defense as well, so that the more defense you have, the likelier, the higher the chance you would be able to apply 2 stacks of poison. And then we have Intisai here for just good DPS during the boss wave. And finally we have Laura here, which is just a lot of HP, tanking all the way. You can see that I'm using broken sets here just so that I can maximize her HP. And the reason for that is just the passive shields that she provides to your team. So yeah, she's going to help you with your survivability very well. And that is my Andras team. Okay, so if you have any other questions, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, in case you need any advice in terms of team building, all that kind of stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Dairy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.